Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are here with Regina Roberti. Excited to talk to her today about her work as a life transformation coach, as a licensed trainer in advanced conversational hypnosis, a certified hypnotist, and also a certified health coach. She uses many modalities to really help people, and we are excited to have her here today. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me, Jill.
Well, you are the founder of Life Transformation Solutions. And what is
Yes.
that website for people to reach out to?
Lifetransformationsolutions.com.
Perfect. And tell us just a little overview about the company and what it is you offer.
So my background is in alternative medicine. I've always been very interested in working with the body in a holistic way. Through many years of massage therapy, I learned that the mind and the body and the spirit are very much intertwined, and you can't just work on one thing, you have to work on everything. So led me to working one-on-one with clients, trying to help them more in the mind so that their body could follow in a beneficial way. And I developed Life Transformation Solutions because it allows me to encompass both my hypnosis practice with the health coaching and
Wow.
now as a trainer of advanced conversational hypnosis. So now I can help therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, hypnotists also use ACH so that they can make their practice a much more successful one.
Great. Well, there's so much to you and so much more to the work you're doing, but I'd like to kind of just back up a sec and talk a little bit about you. Could you share a little bit about where you grew up and
Oh,
what
sure.
brought you into, this field? Would you mind sharing? Some of the stories are personal, and we appreciate you diving into that for us. Thank you.
No problem. I'm one of 9 kids. I am from New York and I grew up kind of in the country. So I was a tomboy,
May I ask
always
where?
the Catskills in New York.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up in the woods. I was very much a fairy child in in the bushes, in the ponds, and the streams. And I guess I'm a hippie at heart. Um, After being in a pretty crazy household with 9 kids and a lot of addiction and things, I decided to move to Florida when I turned 21. I graduated from college and I was pursuing something that was different from what I had experienced. I wanted to get away from illness. I wanted to get away from drinking, just addictive and abusive lifestyle. So I got into massage therapy a few years after being here, and that just led me to where I am today.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. And you also had some obstacles along the way, right?
Yeah, life has a lot of uh, interesting challenges for us all. Um, I think being a single young person, I didn't see my life as having too many challenges, but once I started to get into um, massage therapy, my body was changing dramatically from a very unhealthy one to trying to become healthier. And so I started to deal with detox processes, skin
Yep.
issues, and then after having kids, um, all of my childhood stuff kind of came back around, and I was dealing a lot with mental health stuff, and also physical things. So those are my biggest challenges is postpartum depression.
Can I ask how many kids you have?
I have 2 boys,
How old are they?
almost 8 and almost 10. Their
Oh,
birthdays are right around the corner.
mine are 7 and 9. I feel you.
Yeah,
I'm with you here. Oh my goodness. I know
yeah,
not easy, right? Amazing, but not easy. Um, so at
yeah,
Life Transformation Solutions, I know you're going to talk today about the work you're doing, and you really address it from a holistic perspective, as you say, right? So
yeah.
can we share some of the things that you help people work on to start to change? You mentioned good mental health is one of the most important things in, of course, addition to the eating right and the exercising, but could you talk a little bit about that?
So in holistic coaching, I'm working on the client's intrinsic ability to heal themselves. So I have the information, but I also need them to be on board. And so I work on lifestyle changes, exercise routines, fitness routines, good diets, incorporating herbs,
Mm,
and phototherapy that would help with, stem cell
yeah.
the remaking of their own stem cells, herbal blends that help activate cellular pathways. But we also work on mental stress. And so,
Okay.
what are your everyday stresses? So, in the combination of all four of those things really helps to round out a person and get them to where they want to be.
Now, also, you mentioned I was reading up about not just the physical. You're looking at from cellular health in a sense. Do you want to talk about that and some cellular activators? I know there's some websites there involved. I want to learn about that.
Yeah, so I have a recommended products page on my website, but I am a brand ambassador for Life Wave, which is phototherapy patches, and Life
Okay.
Vantage, which is a lot of patented herbal blends that work at the cellular level. So we're exposed to tons of toxic things that we weren't exposed to 60, 70, 80 years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are much sicker than, you know, our previous ancestors were. And cellular health is really important to get us back to being as young as possible cellularly. So,
Mm-hmm.
the health of the cell is really important. Your mitochondria is your powerhouse of your cell, and that needs to be very healthy. But a lot of us aren't there. And so when we help with the antioxidant making process of our body, the glutathione making process of our body, which is our body's master antioxidant, and we work on our mitochondria, we can really get the body to become healthier much more quickly.
Okay.
And then everything else follows that. So I think that's a really important part of the health coaching aspect of my business.
And can I just share the websites? Is it lifewave.com and lifevantage.com?
Yeah, so my personal website is lifewave.com/LTS.
Okay.
And then it's activationchallenge.lifevantage.com. It's a little long, so the best the best thing to do is to click on the links on my website because then it'll take you directly there.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, I see that as well. Also, I know for today you wanted to discuss a little bit about you say as a licensed trainer for ACH, you're hosting master classes throughout the year. I know something big's coming up too, right?
Yeah, so I have a master class coming up. It's a program. So when you sign up for the
Uh-huh.
master class, you are actually going into my school program.
Okay.
And you are not only going to get a couple of days of training where we do demonstrations pretty much right off the bat, but
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to have my mentoring throughout the whole process. It's a one-time buy-in program, so you never
Okay.
have to pay for that specific master class again. You just keep showing up to all future master classes that I host, and you have access to all my previous ones via video. But you get to learn how to hone your skill with ACH and implement it in your practice so that you can get faster results with clients. You can get those really amazing breakthroughs. You can have multiple outcomes. Like ACH generates the actual life transformation with my clients that I've never seen before in any other modality.
Interesting. Wow. All right. Thank you for that. And by the way, when you talk about being a practitioner, right, you mentioned sometimes people have struggle times with sleep. So we're going to
Yeah.
talk today about traditional psychology and therapy. How that's a little outdated, right?
Yeah, it is. We're really further ahead than the way that it's taught in psychology. Um, I think I know a lot of therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists who now incorporate hypnosis in their business. So they're seeing the benefits of working with the subconscious
Yep.
mind and the results that come from that. So, I really want to help people in those industries get better results with their clients and faster. I don't think seeing a client for a year or 2 years or 3 years is really sustainable anymore. People don't want to sit and talk about the same old problem that long. They want results.
Got it. Well, what else in particular do you want to make sure we cover for today? I know you also want to talk about self-care. I'll let you take the lead though. I'm just going over the notes of what I have, but would love to hear about, the need to take care of ourselves and not put us on the back burner, right?
Yeah, I think as a mom, I really learned that lesson the hard way. I'm
Yes.
sure you have too when you
Ditto,
have your
ditto, ditto,
kids.
Regina. Yes.
They become your life. Everything that you do revolves around them. And there's way too many moms out there that are not only working, they're taking care of their families, their homes, and everything else. And so they tend to put themselves on the back burner. So I just find that self-care is really self-love, and that, if you can find a way, um, to do as many things that make you feel good, that's great. But if you are dealing in the mental health, world of, struggling with your mental health and you haven't quite yet touched the therapy world with it, I think that's really important. It is a form of self-care, but you want to make sure you have somebody that helps you get out the source of what's causing all the problems. Maybe what's the reason behind why self-care doesn't come easier to you.
Tips for self-care that you want to give us?
Um, well, definitely, I think finding a therapist is a really great idea because we can't talk to our husbands, and sometimes our friends aren't the people to have those tough conversations with about. It almost sounds like complaining, right? Like we're just complaining about our experience, but the truth is that we're in a rut and we don't know how to get out or break that cycle of behavior or thinking. So that's really important. But I've recently become a member of my local capoeira dojo. Um, Capoeira is Brazilian style of martial arts. It's a lot of music, a lot of singing, a lot of moving, flips, acrobatics. And for me, it's brought a ton of joy and a beautiful community of people around me and my family. So, that's a good tip is get involved in something local that keeps you active and makes you feel good.
Well, also remind us at this time all the ways we can contact you since we are halfway through.
Oh, yeah, sure. So Life Transformation Solutions is the best way to contact me. My calendar link is there for you
Yep, I
to
saw that.
schedule a strategy call with me, whether you want to be a client or you want to be a student. That's the best way to get in touch with me. You can find all my social media links on there. My product links are there. So that's the best way to reach all of the information about me.
All right, great. And I know you for today, you also want to talk about your favorite topic. It's the mind's role in whether or not we attain our life and health goals.
Yeah. So our programs come from when we're really young, and a habit of behavior is something that we don't easily break. And so, if we address it from the source, from the root cause of why we're not attaining the goals that we seek, like somebody that I just recently worked with, she's always been a really good eater, but somehow she fell off track. She was eating a lot of sugar, it was activating a lot of inflammation in her body. And so she just on her own couldn't get back to eating really healthy again. There was something that was keeping her from doing it. So um, life was stressful. She couldn't add one more stressful thing, which was, being tedious with her diet, what she was putting in her body. And so I helped her to bypass um, that behavior that she kept going back to, which was not being consistent.
Got it. And you mentioned though about the negative impact, right, of, this bad cycle of behavior, but it can be broken. Could you share a little
Yeah.
bit how you shift the mindset? And yeah,
So essentially, the client is doing it, but there are many different things that are hazardous to our health as far as behavior goes, like addictions, drinking, smoking. Not a lot of people want to hear it, but caffeine can be very damaging to our body. It dehydrates us really badly. So it could be as simple as addiction. It could be as simple as being in poor relationships. So if we don't get to that core belief that keeps bringing us back into those relationships or bringing us back to that habit of behavior that is destructive, we are not really going to be able to fix those problems.
all right. And what other aspect do you want to discuss? Do you want to share any client stories? What do you want everyone to know about you and the work you're doing?
Oh my God. So, I'm a sleep specialist. I have tons of different styles of sleep issues with clients. I had a woman who's in her 50s whose sleep issues started when she was 12. Um, there were these irrational beliefs around why she couldn't go to sleep or stay asleep, and every little thing would wake her up. And just, I think I spent 2 hours with her total in 2 sessions, and she was able to sleep full nights again, and the little noises weren't waking her up. She had a family, she owns a business, she's raising her two daughters on top of her business. So she couldn't have been more grateful. And then I've had clients that haven't slept in decades. Their sleep was terrible. They've tried every form of sleep hygiene, medications, over the counter meds, pharmaceuticals, meditation. And within one session, they were sleeping like a baby, like pretty much immediately. So I have a lot of these stories where, it doesn't take long to get the results. You just have to flip the switch inside
Hmm.
the back of the mind that allows it to shut that cyclical behavior or thought off.
No, you're technically it's a licensed trainer of advanced conversational hypnosis, right? So,
Yes.
can we talk about some of the benefits of hypnosis and what it's used for?
Hypnosis can be used for a lot of different things depending on where you are. So in the state of Florida, there's a lot of restrictions around practicing unless you have become certified through a state approved school. But in England or in Australia or other parts of the world, these hypnotists can work with many different problems. Everything from debilitating diseases to skin issues to sleep disorders to mental health issues. It can be used for a lot of different things. People use it for money blocks, intimacy problems. So hypnosis can be used to really create permanent change for people, depending on what you're looking for. There's a ton of people out there doing hypnosis, but I would definitely urge you to consider working with somebody who does ACH because it's a very rapid modality that works on the premise that the client has everything they need to change their circumstances.
Got it. Could you
So
share some of the stories of your clients of, what they've said of working with you and the success of, the transformation that they've had with you?
yeah, so um, it's really interesting to work on a sleep issue, but have all these other things come up that you weren't expecting, and that's just how the mind is. But I've had clients who their business has changed, their ability to make money. They were blocking just because they couldn't sleep. It wasn't really about the sleep. So there were some underlying things going on that were keeping them from experiencing a happier life. So they really progressed and had that life transformation in their relationships, better communication, better business building skills, coping skills. Um, there's just so many different things. Not sleeping is enough to really hurt somebody. And the fact that they get sleep again, now they have energy to tackle things that they didn't before. So it could be as simple as that, or it could be as in depth as, they finally decided that um, their life was too important and they had a lot of love for themselves. And so they started making better decisions that affected their life in a very positive way.
I love hearing those stories. Those positive testimonials are amazing to hear.
Yeah.
And I was also now, I'm on lifetransformationsolutions.com. Strategy call. Do you offer, I know you could book that there. Do you offer like an initial like 15-minute session with someone?
No, because there you don't know how much information, like the strategy call is about 20 to 30 minutes. So it
Okay.
is technically like a introductory session because I
Okay.
use ACH style questioning to get
Okay.
to what's really going on. But a session could be 45 minutes, it could be an hour and a half long, depending on the client. So getting to that root cause sometimes takes a little bit of a dance, but eventually you get there and then have that processing and shifting.
Got it. All right. Thank you. And in our last few minutes together, what else did you want to make sure we get across?
So June 21st and 22nd is my master class, my next master class coming up. I'll probably have another one in October or November. But if you decide that you want to check this program out and become a part of it, I am giving a discount off the top for people who give me a call and they sign up on the phone call. I'll give them the discount for the program. So it's a pretty good one.
Ooh, 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 we like hearing that too. Discounts, right?
Yes.
And let me ask you, are you working with any age, any sex? Is there, is it adults, children? Who do you work with?
I have both male and female clients. I don't specifically work with one or the other. I just like to help people who really haven't found other solutions from traditional methods. And
Mm-hmm.
so, ACH and the coaching style that I have is not really like your typical,
Yeah.
it's an out of the box kind of thing. So if something traditional hasn't helped, I like to use my style to help my clients get results
Well,
really
how
quick.
did you really get into this field? Did you work in massage therapy? What did you do before this?
So I worked in massage therapy. I've been a licensed therapist for 14 years now. Um, when COVID hit, my practice was, being a homeschool mom, I was working about 26 or 27 hours a week. And I went down to one client right after COVID. So I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to work with people? And I had already started seeing the correlation between the mind and the body. So I decided to look into coaching to see if that would help. And that led me to hypnosis and that led me to ACH. And so that's kind of how I wound up where I am. And like it's been a interesting roller coaster ride of fun and excitement because I really love this work and it's the results like make me so happy to see my clients thriving in life.
Aw, awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here. And in closing today, how did you want to leave off for everyone?
Um, hmm. I just think it's really important to take care of yourself. We're in a day and age where things are really confusing and there's a lot of conflict and challenges and people are struggling a lot. And so if you see an opportunity for help, find it, get it, jump on it, you
And you
know.
work with people all over virtually, right?
Yeah, I work through Zoom, so I have clients all over the world.
All right. And tell us all the ways we can contact you, please.
Okay, so my phone number is 772-261-4090. My website is lifetransformationsolutions.com. And you can access all of my social media and my Calendly link there. And if you'd like to email me, my website has a link for that as well. So you can click on it and send me a message. And we can set up a Zoom call. That way I can see, what you're struggling with, if I would be a good fit for you, or if I could refer you on to one of my colleagues, because I have like 1,000 people that I work with regularly who are colleagues of mine in the ACH realm. We all are specializing in something. So,
Good.
if it's not me, I have plenty of people.
Oh, well, wonderful. Thank you for being here today. Pleasure getting to know you and looking forward to the next time we connect.
Thank you. You too. It's
You
been
have a
great.
great day. And to all of our listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcasts on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.